Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we're going to work on a simple, but I think it's going to be a fun necklace. If you have been watching the Customer Appreciation Week with SoftFlex, yesterday you saw Sarah braid a bracelet. Well, I watched that and I thought, I've braided quite a few times, but I've never added beads to my braiding. And then I thought, that could make a really cool necklace, to braid it and put beads in it like that. The only thing is, if you do that, you need a pretty heavy-duty focal, because it's going to be too lightweight. You're going to need something to add some weight so it will hold it down nicely. So I have found a few pieces, and let's turn down. I'll show you what I plan on doing. Okay, I have three colors of SoftFlex: silver, extreme medium, white quartz medium, and turquoise in medium. So we're going to cut about 24 inches of all of these, and we're going to braid them, and we're going to use these crystals and these little beads here interspersed throughout our piece. We're going to clasp it with this really big magnetic clasp. I've gotten most of these other pieces from Bead Box bargains, so they're pretty fun. However, this piece is a Tierracast piece, which I got some time ago, which of course you can't find them anymore. But this piece we're going to take, and I was debating painting it, but I'm not sure we really need to. And this piece, and we're going to stack these two together. Now this piece does not have a hole down here, so we're going to have to get our drill and put a hole in it. Then we've got one of these what they call bell beads in silver. And we're going to hook these all together like this, so it's going to make a pretty heavy-duty pendant. So I may get that put together right now, or we'll put these two together, and we'll just put the bell in when we get about halfway down our braiding. But to do this, what we need is our drill twist. Ding. And we just need the smaller size hole, so we'll just open this up. And we're going to put that hole right there in this pointed piece. Okay, I think that's about right. So we are going to twist this down. Take one more look to make sure I've got it looking good still. And then twist it down. I do believe it's gone through. It feels much lighter going, but it's not wanting to release. So that happens, and when that happens, just bring it all the way up to the top, and yes, that is exactly where I wanted it, and it will push it off itself. So as you can see, I have now put a small hole right here. Can you see it? So now we're going to take a jump ring, and I'm going to take a, I'm not sure a medium will work. We'll see. If a medium will work, we'll use a medium. If we need to, though, we'll switch it to a large. We're going to hook these two together. So we'll go through this hole on here. And this piece is too thick. It doesn't want to let the medium go around. So we will need our larger jump ring. Come on, open up so we can put this one back in here, even if it is open. So now we'll open this guy up. We'll go through our hole, and then we'll grab hold of this cactus piece and close this baby up. Now, so that's going to hang like so. And like I said, if I wanted to, I could take some paint and paint these pieces here. But I'm not sure that I care to. I don't think it's a necessity. So then it will go onto this bell bead to hang it onto the necklace. So let's set this aside over here, along with our bell bead for right now, and our clasp. And we will dump some beads out. Now these have not been unstrung yet, so I'm just going to cut the line and just take out, I don't know, maybe 10, 20. Well, there's 10. I think we'll get out at least 12 or 14, because even though we're going to use 2 different kinds of beads, we got to make sure we have enough. But we may end up using more anyway. So then we'll get the scissors out and open this package up. And I think what we're going to do is I'm going to put some of these aside. But what we're going to do is 2 large and then a small next. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut 2 feet of each of these wires. So let's get our ruler out. Get you out of the way so you don't get damaged. And we'll start with the silver's fine. I don't care which one we start with. We're going to get 2 feet of each. I want this to be about 20 inches. I'm putting 2 feet in because we are braiding. And I do want some ending space here. So we'll cut this right here. So there's the silver. Now we'll get some white. Now when I braid, I like to braid with more than one color. It makes a really cool variant. So we need 2 feet of this as well. Now if we end up braiding too much and not having enough wire, there's actually 2 things you can do then. There's 2 feet. You can add some more wire on by, you'd want to do it in the center point though, by putting a crimp in and crimping another bunch of wires together. However, the crimps will generally only take 3 wires, so you got to remember that also. So if it won't go beyond 18, I'll be happy with that. And you could also just add some chain, a little extender chain at the back end too, but then you'd have to switch to using a lobster claw, which would also work. So there is our 3 pieces of beading wire. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take all 3 of them and hook them together. I poured out a pile of crimp tubes, and it's obviously way more than I need. I only need 4 or 5, but we'll push these up so we have them here. We'll put all three wires through this first crimp. Now you do need at least 2 crimps for your end. So, come on baby. But I'm only going to do 1 right now until I'm ready to end it. There we go. So we bring the crimp down, oh, at least an inch, maybe even a little further. That should be good. Because what we'll do then is when we go to finish it, we'll cut off 2 of these lines. Squish, turn, squish, squish, and squish. And then we'll come back with the last one will come back on itself to say I leave the turquoise. We'll have a crimp in here, and it will come back in through the crimp to the other side, and then we'll crimp it. And actually, I'll probably use one of these guys. Come here, you. Well, I only need it to go through once with one of these, not all 3. So we'd put 1 bead down here with a crimp. Cut these other 2 wires off, put this bead down here, put a crimp here, turn it, go through here, and go. Actually, why don't we just do it right now, because that's how we're going to end anyway. So what we want to do is cut these 2 extra wires off really close to our crimp. You'll notice I slid it right down to it. Then we'll put this bead on. And I maybe should have given myself just a little bit more, but it's probably fine. Then we'll put this crimp on, turn our wire, and yeah, I should have given myself a little bit more, because I really hate it when I'm trying to go through something when it's really tiny like this. Then we got to go down there, baby. Push it through. I see it's there already on the other side. So now we'll get our crimping pliers again. Now you can make this bigger or smaller if you want to, but I'm going to make it just the size I need. And I think my wire backed itself out some. So we want to check that quickly, because if it did, we want it to get back down there, because I don't want it. Okay. See, I can see it right now, but I want it to go down just about to the other crimp. Bring this down, get this with my crimping plier in the divot, and then move it, and it's up again. So let's push, and then squish. And now I did an ugly crimp. See, I only got the 2 corners squished. So we'll get in here and we'll do another. Rotate it again till we get it looking better again. There we go. Okay, so now there is our crimp in place, and it's got a bead there to make it look pretty. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 3 lines. Move these up. We don't need them again until we're going to be just about done. So we're going to decide how many pieces of braid we're going to do, 2, 3, or 4. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3 when I get this one finished, and then 4, 5, 6. I'm going to do 7 for this first one because it's going to be around the back of the neck anyway. 7. So it's going to look like so. And now we're going to start feeding beads on. So take your middle one and get one of your beads. And this would probably these beads would probably take more than one strand, but this is what we're going with. So then we'll start our braid again around our bead. So 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to wiggle this around some because I want that bead to be sitting so it's looking nicely inside our framing there. And you can wiggle your braid some, and especially if you haven't made it atrociously tight. And so now we'll put on our next bead, and I'm going to put on one of the little blue beads. I was thinking I'd put 2 bigs in a blue, but I think I'm just going to put, 2 of the big teal colored and then 1 blue, but I think I'm just going to go every other one. So now that that's on here, we have to braid again. Now this braid is the last one, so we'd want to come with this one over to here, then this, and we just do this as a braid. And I can see that I've let that go a little crooked there because see how it's wiggling here? We want to make sure that our braid is pretty even so that our bead stays pretty much where we want it to be at. So since we just went over with this blue, we're going over with the silver now, and then the white. Okay, I think I messed something up here because that braid does not look right there. So, okay, I pulled it apart and checked to see what I was doing wrong, and I had them going the wrong direction first. So, white, silver, blue, white, silver, blue. And then we've got the white in the middle. So there we go. And with the white in the middle, I'm going to put the next teal one on. Now I'm going to have to measure this pretty soon because I have to make sure that I have my, I want my bead to go, to hang my focal on in the middle. So we've got white in the middle, then we're going to go silver, blue, white, silver, blue, white, silver, blue, white. White's in the middle again, and that's what I'm going to try and keep. This one was on the silver. If I keep it on the white, we should be nice and even. And you can tighten this up, the braid up, by just pushing on it. or loosening by doing the same. Now I've got the white in the middle, and I'm trying to decide, do I need one more set of braid? I'm going to go with it. Okay, so the white's back in the middle again. Pull these a little tighter, and then we'll put the bead on the white bead. This one is our blue. What are you doing here, silver and blue? Oh, I see. They're in the opposite side. Okay. So we have the white. The blue's already coming around, weirdly enough. So we'll do the silver. And then see, the blue's coming the wrong way. It shouldn't be over here. It should be over here. Or is it the silver that's on the wrong side? One of them's on the wrong side, though. Okay, so silver in the middle, then blue, back to white, then to silver, white, silver, blue, white, silver, blue, white. Okay, this little melon bead for some reason likes to sit sideways in here. But there is our first little bit of strand. I'm going to put the teal one on. Slide it up in place. As you can see, all three colors going through there. I'm going to put a stitch in here, and then, come on you, silver, turquoise, white, silver, turquoise, white, silver, turquoise, and white. Now let's get you guys straightened up here. Pull the silver down. It looks like it's a bit loose here. And I'm going to put a bead stopper right here to hold my braid as much as to hold the beads in place. And we're going to measure and see how we're doing. So at the present moment, we're 7 inches. For a 16 inch, we need at least 8. For 18 inch, we need 9. I think we should be able to get 9 at least. We will have to measure it at 9, see how much of our strings are left. We've got still a few 3 inches here. I was thinking I wanted like 20, but we will see when we get the next few on where we end up being as far as length is concerned. So we're going to go back to braiding. I don't think I had enough braids on here for our next bead strand. White is here. Okay, looks like it should be like this, I think. Silver and white. Let's see if that looks good. I think this is the last stitch, and then we're going to slide that on. Silver and white. So now white's in the middle, and we're going to slip this bell on through all 3 lines. For some reason the silver is shrinking faster than the other 2 colors appear to be. Okay, down you go. So now it's going to sit right there, and I'm going to now put on, well, maybe we aren't yet. Let's see. I was thinking I was going to put on the next teal for going up the other side right now, but I'm not sure we are, because I'm not sure we're at the middle yet, where I want the middle to be at. So let's see, be about right here. Well, actually we're perfect, because that'll be 20 if we can make it all the way up to the other side. So we'll put on our next teal bead here, and we're just going to go up the other side just like this, and we'll try to keep it sort of even. So I'm going to try and as I braid, compare it to our other side to make sure that we're getting them pretty consistent. So this is the teal, and it's going on the white. So down they go, and we'll pull off our bead stopper, and we have to have white in the middle. So let's see, blue and silver will go on either side here. So then we'll do our white in the middle. Silver and white. Let's see where we're at. If we can get one more stitch, I think that's going to be perfect, hopefully. So let's see if we can't get blue, silver. Silver's very short right now, and white. So now let's get our crimp tube. Looks like our white's going to be the long one this time around, and it doesn't matter which one it is, just have to get one of them be long. So actually it's even could be a little bit less. Let's see, because this is the crimp. Yeah, see, we could have been just a little bit less. So let's see how we're doing here. And we can take out some of our braiding here on this one because it's longer than we need it to be. So then we're going to be exactly the length I want. So we're doing great. But we do have too much braid here. As you can see, it's up to where the second crimp would be, even above that. So we're going to take out our crimp, and we're going to unbraid some of this. But I'm going to hold it so that I don't unbraid too much. So let's see where we're at here. That looks like about right. So now we put our crimp back on. Come on, blue. There we go. Make sure we're pretty good still. Oh, now I took too much out. See how we needed at least, it looks like one more stitch. I took out too many. So we'll take our crimp back off, and we're going to braid just a touch again. So we have to find our ending here. This is white right here, blue and silver. So white was in the middle, blue, silver, white, blue, silver, white. Now let's see if we are good this time. I'm going to hold it right here this time. We maybe could give one more. So I think I gave it 2, but that looks good. So let's put the crimp on and see if it still looks good. Come on. Come on. Go on the blue. Come on, silver, stay out here. All right, silver, being naughty. Okay, let's see how we're looking. Could be a little bit lower, and since I'm just going to push my crimp down since it's just a little bit lower, and that silver strand keeps trying to kink down there, so we'll pull it out. And it's not perfect, but it's really, really close, so we're going to crimp it right here. So we put our tube right in the middle of the divot and squish. Turn it and squish. Pretty tight. So now we're going to cut these 2 extra lines on. I'm going to leave the white because it's the extra long one, though I could just use the turquoise because it's pretty long too. But actually I think I might use the turquoise because it's the turquoise we used on the other side, and that way it stays consistent. So we're going to cut the white one off. Now I'm going to put these teal back because we only need one more of these light blue ones, and then we have all our beads. I'm going to have to find a little baggie for our light blue ones since they are, the bag was cut open. Come on. So now we put our light blue one on here, just like we did on the other side. And then a crimp tube to put all these extras away. And then go through the crimp tube We have much more wire to work with on this side, so we're happier. So I can pull this through, bring our wires down, and then we want it to be about the same, which it is right here. So I'm going to give it a little pinch up because the crimper needs to have a little room. So then the bead will go in the middle of the divot there, and we'll squish. Push up on the bead. It's tight, so we're going to now get this extra teal off of here. So we'll take our clippers and run it up to the bead this time and clip that off. And there is our braided necklace form. Now we just have to put our hook our pendant to our bell bead, and then we'll put our magnetic clasp up on the other side. Now this is a really pretty magnetic clasp. So we just need, now we need some jump rings, and I'm going to, we could use the mediums for this, but I'm going to use a large because they're a little stronger, and this is a pretty strong magnetic clasp. And then I'm going to put this on with one of the medium ones onto the pendant. So we'll get our pliers. Open our jump ring up. Go through our pendant piece. And then our bell. Come on, baby. Okay, it looks like this wants to go through the bail first because the pendant piece is pretty heavy duty. So we'll go through the bail first, and then we'll put our pendant piece on. Let our bail slide to this side over here. Come on. And close this up. Now, as you can imagine, the chain or braid or whatever you want to call it is quite lightweight, and but the focal will hold it down. So that's what we did that for. So now let's put our magnetic clasp on. So we'll open up one of these. Put it through one of these loops and through the other. Somebody once asked me why I didn't use a wire guardian when I'm doing these end pieces. Well, the reason for that is twofold. Number one is SoftFlex is a really strong wire and they don't really need it. And the other one is that the wire guardian itself is a piece of metal, and it can damage the wire, And in fact, the one time I've ever had a wire break was at the Wire Guardian before I stopped using them. The Wire Guardians sometimes have little sharp ends. So you really need to rub your hand against the side to make sure, if you're going to use them, that they don't have a sharp end, and so won't break your thread themselves. So I don't really feel it's needed with SoftFlex, so I don't use it. But again, the one time I have had a wire break was right at the edge of the Wire Guardian, and that's because the Wire Guardian itself is a piece of metal, and it had apparently had a little sharp spot on it, or maybe it was just the friction from the edge of the Wire Guardian, but it did break my wire right at the Wire Guardian. So there's our necklace all finished. I put this cactus form in with this because it looked really southwesty to me, and so like I say, we used the turquoise beads with some blue beads to match our howlite piece here, and we used turquoise, silver, and white SoftFlex wire. Turquoise, white, silver, all in the medium size. And I think these are really pretty, and as you can see, they make a really nice braid. Of course, the white and the silver sort of meld with each other, though if you look, you can see the difference. And of course, the blue adds that pop of color that is so cool. So there we go. So there is our pretty necklace, all made from all the SoftFlex wire, and all of the other components were from Bead Box Bargains. So I enjoyed making this necklace. I think it's pretty. Now, if you have a macrame board, you could also have worked this with the macrame board, and it might have been simpler to braid it with it, but I couldn't find my macrame board, so I don't use it very often. I'm not sure where I have it put. So there we go. There's our necklace, and I do believe we measured it to be 20 inches like I was hoping. Let's see. Actually, it's a little over 20 inches because that's 20 right there at that bead. So we probably are at 21. So if I were to put it on, it would be now see, I want that to hang right between our two teal beads here because that's where we have it. And there we go. Isn't that pretty? So, and it's also extremely lightweight. Actually, this probably the heaviest thing is our clasp. So, and like I said, I could have painted our little desert scene if I had chosen to. I didn't choose to, so I thought it would be adding too much to it because, of course, I would have made the sun yellow, the cactus green, and I don't know about the mountains, maybe purpley or bluey, but it is a pretty piece. I like it. Again, this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and all of the wire pieces we used were from SoftFlex, and the beads and the focal pieces were from Bead Box Bargains. So there we go. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.